Okay, now we are live.
Hello,
Hello.
hello.
Hello. Yes, it's Monday. It is 6:01 p.m. and it is time to create your future self live. I'd like to thank each and every one of you for joining us today across Facebook, Periscope, YouTube, and Twitter. We thank you so much for you guys joining us every week at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time as we bring you Create Your Future Self Live. And today, my wonderful co-host, Mr. Victor Nico the Don of Nico Don Projects, is here with us as always. And we have a very amazing guest, Miss Darlisa. She's going to share some amazing information with us today. She's going to talk about who she is, what she does, and most importantly, we're going to make sure that she gets an opportunity to give out all of her information so that you guys can connect with her so that she can help you to continue to scale and grow your business or to get started in your business if you're an entrepreneur that's looking to get started. I am Laquita Monley, and I am the military spouse that provides work from home positions for other military spouses, dependents, as well as civilians. And it is Create Your Future Self. How are you guys doing today?
We're doing good. Good to be here. Happy to be here. Thank you, Laquita, for that great introduction. Darlisa, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you guys for having me on today. It's such a privilege. Thank you.
Good, good, good. Well, I'm very happy for one because we had this scheduled for like 2 or 3 months now. So long ago. It's like way before COVID-19 ever happened. You ever heard of this thing, this COVID-19 thing, Darlisa?
It's ridiculous.
That's completely. As a matter of fact, I always do this. Hold up, let me make sure I gotta wipe off my screen here. All right, let's get sanitized. All right, we in good shape.
See,
All right,
put my face mask on. You know, we have to practice.
That's right. That's right. So we were planning like 2-3 months ago. We planned to have you on and Marlon Estes, who is with the credit union here, and so we were going to be talking about ways that people can win in the real estate investing game. I'm a real estate investor. Laquita's a real estate investor. A lot of our audience are real estate investors. Obviously, that live event got canceled, but it does not take away from what you do. And your company is North Texas Entrepreneur Education and Training Center. So you're out here on a daily grind, helping these entrepreneurs to get their business off the ground. Am I correct?
This is correct.
Cool. So tell us how you got started. Tell us a little bit about your business, and let's dig into it.
All right. So again, thank you guys so much for having me on today. It is indeed my pleasure to be on. As you mentioned, Vic, we had plans, right? COVID-19 came in and shut all of that down. So my background, I've been a consultant since 2009, and helping people is my passion. I really enjoy just helping people in any facet, and I also like to learn. So I'm kind of like a cool nerd, if that's the thing. And so I enjoy learning things and helping other people learn those. And I've been very blessed in my life to sit at many tables, right? I was the individual that went to school, made good grades, wanted to climb the corporate ladder, got the degrees, did all that, only to realize that my ladder was a step stool. And so since realizing, God had another plan for me, one that I had no idea. I did not grow up around entrepreneurship. I had no idea what entrepreneurship was. And so he kind of ushered me into that pathway of life. Was very blessed with an opportunity to work with an organization out of Chicago when I was in grad school, and just helping them, right? Because I was learning some new stuff. So I'm like, cool, let me try this out, right?
Yep.
And my job, hated it. I worked in healthcare, and, they hated everything about it. I was told I would never be a leader. My training skills were horrible. I was told, literally backed into a corner and was told I'm supposed to do what they tell me to do when they tell me to do it.
Wow.
And I'm like, okay, wow. Until one day, in the epitome of my frustration, God told me the next time I moved, it would be into my own. Had no idea what that meant. And 2 years later, I started my own consulting business. Was very blessed to receive a contract with the Small Business Development Center in Missouri, which is very near and dear to my heart.
Nice.
So I worked with the SBDC and learned like that I had been doing what entrepreneurs do, but didn't realize that I was an entrepreneur. So they gave me my first stint. I worked a lot with a lot of women's business centers and sat on committees, planning committees. I've traveled, I've spoken, I've lobbied. I have been in the room with millionaires when I only had maybe 10 cents in my pocket. And God just kind of pushed me into a new realm of life. And so started my consulting business way back in 2012. From that, wanted something bigger and better for my children. So my husband and I decided at the time to relocate to do something better for them. And when I made a transition from corporate life to entrepreneurial life, my son came in the basement one day and told me that he could keep a secret. I was like, okay, this is good, I guess. And his secret was he wanted to know if I still had a job because he didn't understand. We were in a rat race every day. Is get up, get things going, come home, all this kind of stuff. And then I went to working at a desk in my basement. And so that helped me to understand that even my children they didn't understand entrepreneurship. So that led me to start a youth program. At the time, it was the only curriculum youth program on entrepreneurship in St. Louis, Missouri. I worked with Junior Achievement. They gave me my pilot. I worked with several organizations like rehabilitation organizations, city progressive planning programs where they came in and they redid the communities, and then we would offer our programming to the youth and the parents. Forward Focus moved to Texas, and I kind of got a position, and I was working with the SBDC again, which was great, but it wasn't what I was supposed to be doing, right? So I got comfortable. I was working that 9 to 5 again. I was traveling an hour, 30 minutes one way to work. But I'm like, it's a steady paycheck. It was way less than what I was making on my own. But again, I did it until God kind of tapped me on that shoulder again and was like, this is it's cool, but it is no. So through wanting to make more money, I was going to take a position with a banking institution, and this was right before the government shut down. So I had gotten hired, everything was good to go. I had put in my notice with the company I was working with, and 4 days prior to me leaving, they sent me a message and said the position had been eliminated because we were getting ready to go into the government shutdown.
Oh, man.
For the first time, I went into this dark place, and I'm like, God, why would you do that? I'm like, I'm telling you, I want to make more money. You set it up so nice. And then he reminded me, but this is not what I have for you. You don't want to be in banking. Like, no. So through that, I did my research, found out where the gaps were in the DFW market. And through working with the SBDC, the SBA, those kind of organizations, realized that there's still a major gap with pre-venture, underserviced, and underserved business owners, right? And so there was birthed my center, the North Texas Entrepreneur Training Center, and we focus on training and education for the entrepreneurial process. So do we walk you through registering your LLC and all that kind of stuff? Yes, we can help you with that, but ours is more about education throughout the whole process. How to create wealth versus just having a job, how to get certifications, how to have your children as tax or benefits, what have you. And how we work is we partner with other local entrepreneurs because we want to strengthen entrepreneurship, right?
Right.
So we developed a curriculum, a program that is the only technical program here in the DFW market. We are the first, the only business resource center that is Black owned, minority owned, and woman owned. And we have progressed into now we will be a flexible workspace. So we provide the things that entrepreneurs need in that gap of getting started. So they start their business, then what? COVID-19 was a perfect example of why our kind of service is needed because so many side hustlers, back office entrepreneurs, they had no idea of what to do during this time. So our center helps and we create a community for entrepreneurs to feel comfortable. Now, don't get me wrong, there's so many other organizations out there that help entrepreneurs, that work with entrepreneurs, that provide this. But what I will candidly say is some of these other organizations that you go to for networking or whatever the case, you can't really be you. You have to kind of conform and be them in order to achieve what you want to achieve. And that's all said, and that's fine in some cases. But what our space does is it creates a level playing field for entrepreneurs so they can access entrepreneurship at any point. We do a lot of work with organizations, for example, where the youth are aging out of the foster care system. So what does the system say? Okay, it's time for you to go out there and get a job and, but they don't understand that, right? So we provide a curriculum for them to go through the entrepreneurial process. At the end of our program, they may decide entrepreneurship really isn't for me, but we pair them with workforce solutions. And now they have different skills that they need to be able to say, but you know what? I can speak publicly. You know what? I understand what marketing is. So they either decide, yes, this helps me. This has catapulted me into growing my business, or it's like, no, entrepreneurship is not for me. But now that I learned about it, I understand it, I have better decision-making power. So we provide non-traditional education for entrepreneurs.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good stuff. So it's a lot to unpack there. Let's take it a couple steps back. So you mentioned, I guess in Chicago is where you started it, and then went into St. Louis, and you've been working with SBDC. So I want to make sure I break that down for folks. So that's going to be the Small Business Development Centers. Is that correct? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So a lot of entrepreneurs out there may or may not realize that there are, in most cities, in a lot of cities, they have some type of small business development center. These are places that will help people that want to start a small business. So obviously they cater towards entrepreneurs. What Darlisa is saying is that you guys take it a step further and add some additional training, some additional resources. You talk to them about the mentality of being an entrepreneur, and that's super important. So I wanted to make sure I broke that down. Whatever market you're in, if you're watching us from Oakland, California, Atlanta, Kansas City, these major cities for sure have small business development centers. And so we want to make sure that you at least tap into them in your area to look for resources. But I believe if you are in the Dallas, Texas area, you need to be reaching out to Darlisa exclusively
for sure.
Help you and hold your hand through the entire process so you can get your business off to a good start. I hope I kind of recapped that a little bit properly there. So, Laquita, I already know where you're going with this. You have a quick question for her. You had a couple. I know some things jumped out at you.
Several things jumped out in my head, Vic. Several things jumped out in my head as Darlisa was sharing with us her testimony. I can identify with bits and pieces of that testimony because it's when we make up our mind that we want to do something and it's not always in alignment with what God has told us to do. When the hiccup happens, like we have temporary amnesia, and like we forgot that God said, no, you're going to do A, B, C, and D, and I'm busy trying to do X, Y, and Z. And so that moment, that feeling when you said, oh man, I was making a transition from one GS position to another GS position when the shutdown happened. And when we got there, there was no position. And it's like, what in the world?
Yes.
What you mean? Like, I did my interview and everything. I went on leave. I came back. I have no job. What are you talking about?
Yes.
How does this work? And it's when God has a plan for us, he has a plan for us. So, it's up to us to then work out that plan. And you're doing it beautifully. You said you were the first minority-owned and female-owned small business resource center in the DFW area. That's an amazing achievement all in itself, because just having worked with some various different organizations in my entrepreneurial journey, you're absolutely right. What we see doesn't always look like who we are. Mm-hmm. And so for you to come in to that space and do well in that space and grow in that space is a testament in and of itself. So definitely, this is something to be celebrated. Absolutely. I'm like,
thank you.
Grinning from ear to ear, praise God, thank God for you and what you're doing to bring this information back into minority communities. And I'm not saying this exclusively for minority communities, but it is sometimes more comfortable to be very open with everything. Coming into an organization like yours, entrepreneurs are at their most vulnerable because I have to give you all of me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I have to share not only my vision and my mission of my business, but I have to expose vulnerable parts of my personal finance, my business finance, what I really know versus what I don't really know. So sometimes it's easier to be vulnerable with someone who you can feel more comfortable with. And like you said, be you. I can tell you everything that's on my mind without having to filter it through any filters. And you'll definitely get where I'm coming from and be able to help me to build from there. So that is amazing. Like, you have any plans on opening the office in Killeen?
Hey, we will travel and we will definitely bring our program that way for sure.
Mm-hmm. Darlisa, what are you seeing? Because obviously you're working with people in the very beginning phase of them starting their legacy. I'm going to say that these people are building a legacy for their families, and they're in the beginning phases. What's one or two of the most common, I guess, errors or things that you and your team have to address when people are coming to the center?
Transparency. It kind of goes back to what Laquita said. People think that they have to be at a certain point. And it's kind of like, a computer. When people just are so accustomed to putting information in, and that computer is like, no, that's not right. That's not right. And you can hear it. And it's like, let's back all the way up. Like,
Mm-hmm.
let's go from the very beginning. People, they are uncomfortable with being real about their situation, especially in terms of like needing funding or needing help or, understanding the entrepreneurial process as a whole. So they kind of make up these stories of success. And it's like, no, that sounds good, but let's kind of back up a little bit. And it is kind of like breaking down a wall.
I'm so sorry. So they're coming to you knowing that you help with these areas, and you're saying that a lot of people are still a little bit embarrassed, or I guess their pride is preventing them from being fully transparent with you about where they need to help at it, particularly funding, I would think, right? Wow. Yeah. Okay.
So credit
how do you
issues,
uncover that? Yeah. How do you get them to start talking?
Well, we do an assessment first. And you can kind of look at the assessment and tell, and we kind of do some background information like website or what have you. Okay. But then we just talk to them, right? I'm a people person. So whenever they start talking and the conversation is like here, right off the cuff, it's like we have these conversations of a get to know you kind of conversation where people feel like they're talking to a friend versus a business consultant, right? And so just kind of helping to eliminate some of the walls and eliminate some of the barriers that are there, and let them know, hey, I'm a real chick. Like, I have issues. I have a past, a background, a present, all the above. But the goal is to acknowledge that and be truthful about that so that we can help you and partner you and connect you with the right resources to help you from where you are and not where you think you should be.
Mm, that's really good. That's really good. Because I know just from personal experience, if I can say some of my past biggest failures were when I allowed my pride to not let me be as transparent as I needed to be. So even though I was sitting in the space with someone who could help me, they could only do as much as the information that I gave them.
Right.
And since I gave them limited information or not true information, they couldn't fully help me. So I guess, for our audience that's just joining us, Mr. Alicia is the owner and founder of, I'm sorry, what's the name of your program again in Dallas?
North Texas Entrepreneur Education and Training Center.
Yes, North Texas Entrepreneurial and Training Center. And she's giving us some valuable information here on what we can do as entrepreneurs, no matter where we are in our journey. And one of the biggest things is being transparent with those who you need to network with and with those who you need to partner with in order to reach the level of success that you want. And just from personal experience, not doing that cost me a lot of time and a lot of resources. Most importantly, it cost me time because I can't get that time back. You can make money, but the money that I could have made if I would have just been honest then, I won't make that back. I won't make that back. So it's a waste of my time and their time. So
exactly.
So for those that are listening, if that's something that you struggle with, then this is the time to really think about how you can defeat that and not let that be your struggle. So no matter where you are in the country and you're looking at this broadcast and you're working with someone who has an organization like Darlisa, be transparent and open with them, because in that transparency, that's how they're able to help you the most.
Yeah, we can't fix a problem that haven't been, exposed or presented. So what are you doing right now, Darlisa, during COVID-19? What is your training looking like right now? Is it all Zoom? What's been happening there the last couple of months with your business?
So in the very beginning, it was very scary, right? Because most of our sessions were in person, and what have you. So we had to pivot quickly. I've partnered with some other business service organizations. In the very beginning, we were helping with the EIDL loan education and the Triple P education, making sure that business owners had the information that they needed in order to apply or have their documentations ready there. I've done some work with some of the local universities, helping them to capture some of that overflow of if they were doing grants, helping with some of their business advising. And I started a daily series called Coping with COVID, just candid conversations. And we brought on various guests for many industries, just talking about how the COVID-19 has impacted them from an industry standpoint and from a personal standpoint. So we've done that every single day, well, except for weekends. And just we've transitioned. So we have our networking platform that has gone virtual. And we're actually in the process of revamping our actual space. So we are going to what is called the Center, North Texas. So we will be opening that location soon. As I mentioned, it is the flexible workspace and the educational track. So the North Texas Entrepreneur Training Center will become a part of the Center North Texas. And so we are getting ready to for that. We just found out today that youth programs can open back up. So we do our summer program. We were kind of nervous about that. So we're going to start prepping for the summer program, which is the Youth Entrepreneurs Platform, where we do a entrepreneurial summer camp for kids. So we've been busy. We've been, trying to stay relevant for sure, wanting to make sure that people come to us with questions that they have, uncertainties. We've been very blessed. Can't say that they have been paid opportunities, right? But one thing is for sure, God is sufficient, and He has been supplying, whenever you think it's like, okay, I thought this is what I was supposed to be doing, but
Mm,
now, blah,
mm.
blah, blah. But he's been a provider, like, all the way through it. And I feel like now the organizations and the people that wouldn't give us the time of day, they're in our inboxes, they're in our emails, reaching out to us because they want to help our network of entrepreneurs. So it's definitely been a blessing. One plug I will mention is we have a survey that we have put out to help the entrepreneurs in the mid cities area, which is where we're located, to find out what their needs are and what their requests are. And I'd love to be able to provide that survey to you guys to have entrepreneurs fill that survey out.
Yeah. Please. If
Absolutely.
you want to email it now, we can copy it, or if you want to state it, whatever's.
Put it in the chat box.
Yeah, put it in the chat, and then we'll drop it into the post. The creative
So
out there.
that's some great information. I was thinking through the COVID-19, Vic and I've done a couple of episodes dedicated to the necessities of business pivoting and different things. And I think one thing for sure, if Americans have not figured out that entrepreneurship is a must-have, if COVID-19 did not teach them that, then I don't know what will teach us that, right? Because even though, franchises of different businesses did suffer, the support that was given to the business owners first, then to the employee. You get the bottom of the barrel. But it's not like that just because of COVID-19. That's really how it is on an everyday basis. Our government is set up to support business owners, small and large.
Yeah.
And a couple of times when people would ask me, "Hey, Laquita, is this, is any of this CARES Act money? Can I get any of it?" And when they heard that, okay, small business is 500 employees or less, they just blew their minds. Like, yeah, our government, our country is designed to help the small business owner, and they consider that somebody who has 500 employees or less, right? And those are the people that are going to sustain.
And look, I came across a statistic late last year when I was preparing something, and it was saying that basically nearly 80% of new jobs are created from small businesses. So our economy is definitely dependent upon entrepreneurs. And again, an entrepreneur could be somebody with 50 employees. It doesn't have to be just you working in a corner of your home office or something. This could be small businesses, anything under 500 employees. So we do make up this country, and the nation sees that. And that's why business owners were targeted with some of the CARES Act benefits that were out there. And so, and the one thing I really want to applaud you on, Darlisa, is not only the fact that you're always out there. This is not new for you. This is not, hey, I'm going to do something new for COVID-19. You've been out here grinding in different markets for entrepreneurs for years. And you really too young to be doing it out here this long for this many years, but you got some background on you, and that's cool. And the theme that we continue to have in this show here on Create Your Future Self Live is that everybody we talked to was faced with some type of adversity and pressed through, kept pushing through, and found themselves doing something maybe not the way they thought they were going to start out, but they surely ended up in a successful place. And I'm just so happy and proud for you that now these entities that you've been knocking on the doors, they opening the doors, they coming to your door and giving you these opportunities and really seeing your value. So again, I just want to applaud you for that.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. One thing's for sure, it is never an easy feat, right? People look at, and I'm nowhere, like, I have so much further to go. But it is a challenge. One, being a female, two, being an African American female. There's some hills that have to be climbed. But that's where entrepreneurs come in, and that resilience. Like, that's what we as entrepreneurs have to remember. It's that resiliency that keeps us, where we are today, and having those organizations and companies coming back looking for us, looking to the small business owner to say, okay, I need your help. And so many times, we could be, one thing's for sure, minorities, women, men, whatever, if they are entrepreneurial, the hustle is in them and the grind is in them. But where we kind of fail sometimes is we don't document it. We don't have a traceable track of the work that we're doing, and that's where we miss the bar, right? So think about the certifications, think about the federal contracts and things like that that are going untouched simply because we're in hustle mode and we're in, get out there and get it mode, which is fine. However, you got to have a paper trail. You have to have something. And if nothing else, COVID-19 proved that to everyone. It put all of us on the same playing field. It put us all on the same playing field, from the major organizations to the little organizations. It put us all on the same playing field. And all you had to have was your paperwork. All you had to say was, yes, I have a business and I work with this set of people. And that's what they were asking for. Now, who got approved, who didn't get approved, that's where that education comes into play, right? Understanding how your credit plays a part in your business, understanding how having employees, how they're listed, how all of that plays a part. And that's really what our organization helps do. Take that side hustler and kind of groom them a little bit into a small business owner. Not trying to, the big brother watching and all that kind of stuff. Somebody gonna be watching, whether it's big brother, big sister, cousin, whoever. You just want to make sure
big brother money, he gonna watch.
Exactly. So making sure that, they are able to compete for some of the things that are available to entrepreneurs. So going back to the SBDC and their services, if you have patronized, which they are a phenomenal resource, but they want you to be at a certain place too, right? Like, you have to have a certain something in order for them to be able to really kind of service you the way that the SBA, the Small Business Administration, wants them to help you, right? Either you're creating jobs, you are getting capital infusion into your business, or you are depositing back economically, right? If you're not there, then they really can't help you. So our center, our motto is being the community triage for entrepreneurs. When you think about a triage, you go, they assess where you are, what your needs are, what your sickness is, and then they route you to the proper place. Either they're going to send you back home with some care instructions. You're going to see, somebody, either you need to get taken to the next level, whatever. That's what our center is. So we encourage the pre-venture entrepreneur. We encourage the startup entrepreneur. Those that are not generating revenue, that's who we service, because we want to help them get to a point to where when they want to be government contracting, okay, here's what you need to look like on paper. And there's no judgment there, right? There's no judgment.
Absolutely. That's some great stuff. Vic, I guess our show has arrived. We had like our very first troll. I can't even be mad. It's hilarious right now.
Right here, boy. Yeah. Anyway,
we're learning some good information from Ms. Darlisa right now.
Yes, excellent. So
she answered a question. I'm sorry. She actually answered a question that I was going to ask. Like, ideally, what would you want someone who's coming to visit your office for the first time? What type of preparation would they need to have? What do you want to see them bring with them when they see you for the first time or have the first phone consultation with you?
So I'm putting it in the chat right now. There is an assessment that just asks some simple questions, who you are, what you do, etc. And it says, let us help. Complete that assessment, and then that's it. Because our goal is to find out where you are for real. And
Okay.
that's through that conversation. So there's no pre anything other than filling out the assessment so that we can schedule the appointment with you. But we help nonprofits, we help small business. And that first time that you talk to an advisor, that's going to kind of set the tone. That helps to decide what the next step is. Okay, so if you're a pre-venture, great. Here's a list of resources. Here's a group of people that we can help you with, because it all depends, right? People think they know what kind of help they need,
Right.
but really that could be different, right? That's just like me saying I need surgery on my knee, but really I just need to lose some weight, right? So there's no requirements, there's nothing needed other than just filling out the assessment.
Perfect. So Laquita just put in the comments the website www.nteetc.com, as well as the survey. That's right, it's in there. North Texas Entrepreneur Education and Training Center. And I definitely want people to reach out to you that are entrepreneurs that are looking for some additional guidance, some tightening up, if you will, of some of the stuff that they have, so that they can get the funding that they need. But also, I want people out there who want to support this type of project to reach out to Darlisa to make sure that put your dollars behind this. If this is something that you see, is benefiting your neighborhood, again, if you realize that, man, COVID took out my favorite restaurant, I couldn't get my hair cut at my favorite barbershop, and I couldn't get that tattoo done or whatever no more. These are 3 business owners that are affected, and you want to be able to support them beyond this time, then reach out to her. I'm sure she could use some funding to help support these things that she's doing to help entrepreneurs. Anything you want to say too on that, Darlisa?
Yes. Even if you are a small business owner, marketing, CPA, if you do websites, if you are a business advisor, credit repair, whatever, reach out to us, because how we service and how we market is we connect our business owners to other business owners, because we're trying to strengthen entrepreneurship, right? Mm-hmm. So if our clients and our customers need help, we want to refer them to you. So we're always looking to partner and always looking to connect with small business owners. Now, don't get me wrong, you got to come correct. We can't be, partnering with like the bootleg kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. But we want to get customers and clients in your doors, right? Mm-hmm. We don't do websites, we don't do accounting, we don't do any of that. But our clients need that stuff. So if you are a business owner of any type, if you sell trinkets, reach out to us, because we want to help small business owners.
Mm-hmm. That's good. And so right now you're based in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, but I already know this is going to expand far, far beyond that. You have connections in St. Louis. I'm sure I saw on your bio, you've been in the Business Journal for Atlanta. That's a huge market for me and, people that follow me. So I'm hoping that maybe we could do something to help you get into some of these other places a little deeper to help these entrepreneurs, because you got the goods. You have the great knowledge and information and resources that they need to get their business to the next level. So I appreciate you sharing that. What's next? So we always talk about create your future self. What does your future self look like, Darlisa?
So that's a great segue, Vic, to what you just said. So with the whole COVID thing, we've had to push our program virtual. So that does open us up to more of a national platform. We have been very blessed to receive correspondents from Kansas City. So we're going to be running our certification program through a pipeline in Kansas City for sure. So what's next for us is we are wanting to take this model and make it a global initiative. We want to build these ecosystems for minority, underserviced, and underserved businesses, just providing this platform of education and then connecting them to the right resources within their own communities. So that is what's next for us. As I mentioned earlier, we are on the cusp of opening our new space called the Center North Texas. Stay tuned. And then going nationwide with our certification program.
Wow. That is, again,
Yeah.
kudos to you. Man, you making it happen. I'm telling you. And I just got a chance to meet her probably a good 6-8 months ago, somewhere in there. And I thought I was active online, but every time I look up, she has some meeting, got all these important people in there. And I'm just like, man, she is really making a difference. And it definitely helps to be connected with your organization, even as a small business owner that's already maybe doing okay or, established. Like you said, you're a network, you are an ecosystem, and we need to be able to support each other. And there are other folks out there doing it. So we need to be supporting each other and referring business to each other. And not only that, being world class in our delivery of our business, our product, our service, and whatever it is, that's how you continue to grow your business. You've got to deliver the goods. You've got to be strong. Don't just hurry up and try to get this client. Be very intentional about how you're treating your clients and what you want to see their outcome become. So anyway, I can get on a soapbox about that all day, every day. So, okay, one other question for you. We talked about your future self. Take us 10 years ago, what traits, or 15 years ago, whatever, did you have that you can say, man, I didn't know then, but it brought me to where I'm at now? Are there any habits, skills, things that you were doing 10, 15 years ago that you see were a direct path to where you are today?
Candid answer, it is praying and asking God for direction. I think now is even more strengthened, but back then I was working, was that 10, 15 years ago? I was working in the healthcare organization, and I would cry at night asking God to help me, with my boss, or help me with the people I was dealing with at work. So that trend has been consistent and it has gotten stronger. But two, I would say that through working with the various levels of people, I've worked on teams with senior level executives being like the peon in the room. I've never been an executive in anybody's job, right? But I was always in the room. So understanding and being able to relate to that feeling of people that, you go into a room and there's all these higher ups in there and they're looking at you like you're crazy. That helped me to not look at people like that, right? Because people feel like that intimidation. So that has helped me. And resilience, like just being resilient and continuing to push for what I want. I wanted something better. I wanted to get a good job. I wanted to do all of that. And that reminds me now, okay, you did that when you were working in a corporate setting. You definitely have to do it now when it's your own, because it's your name on the line.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's real good. That's real good. The way that the mentality that you had was a great transition. It transitioned well to what you are now, because you're both empathetic and sympathetic, and now I know what not to do to people in order to get the very best out of them, because I need them to give me the best in order to make this thing successful.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. There's with you having been in those different spaces, in those different rooms with, people in power and position. And now that you are the person in that position of power, how do you, other than that attitude that I'm not going to make them feel intimidated, what else do you do to help your entrepreneurs to pull the best out of them? Because as you're coaching them and developing them, and you see that greatness in them, what is it that you say that you do to help pull that out of them so they can see it for themselves?
Showcase it. I am all about showcasing other people's talents. Like, I am the kind of person, you don't really have to ever mention my name at all, and I'm okay. But making sure that other people recognize the value in those people, putting them on, the front line so that they can get the recognition. That's something that I really enjoy doing. I like for other people to know about other people's goodness, and helping them overcome something that's keeping them from moving forward themselves.
Okay.
I would say this, and you haven't talked about this, so I hope it's okay, but you introduced me to Business in a Box, Go Small Biz Pro. And I know, that's a huge benefit to my business in that. So Legal Shield, obviously a lot of people know about Legal Shield. They offer legal services. What it has helped me to do is allow me to be able to present contracts that I've drafted up on my own end, or maybe even lease agreements that I had to redo, present that to the attorneys that represent me in my area, as part of my same monthly fee. I'm not paying no extra $100 retainers. Just email it to them. 3 days later, they come back. Hey, here's our remarks about your contract. If you change this, you're golden. That's helped me. Human resource documents and processes and laws, it's helped me with on that end. Tracking my contacts, and it's a CRM tool for me to be able to keep track of my contacts in my business. And I'm paying one monthly fee, and I'm getting all these extra services for that represent my business, my company. So anything you want to talk about with Go Small Biz in a Box?
Man, so the Go Small Biz Toolkit, it's funny that you mentioned that. So every Thursday at 9:00 a.m., myself and my good friend Deidre Kindred, business partner, we do a toolkit talk, right? And we're just outlining the benefits of the Go Small Biz platform. It's just like Vic mentioned, it is literally business in a box. And so working with tools like that help business owners, you pay one small fee, but it puts you in a position to where now you are able to play like the big boys. You have contracts, you have an attorney, all of that. And the cost is so minimal that you don't even think about it. It's the CRM tool, it's your accounting, it's your website, it's contracts, etc. And so every Thursday at 9:00, from my North Texas Entrepreneur Training Center Facebook site, we do a live demonstration of the tool, the benefits of it. We are breaking down each of the components of the tool. But I would encourage, if you have questions about your CRM or your business productivity or your outflows, please reach out to us, because we have so many different little tools that we are connected with in the center, because people don't know about it, right? They think that they have to go out and do all of these major things, costly things, but they don't. And that's another benefit of being connected to our center, getting access to some of these cool business tools. So I would love it, if you guys want to learn more, reach out to us and I can tell you all about it, because the Go Small Business, the Business in a Box, literally puts everything you need for your business in one platform, and it gives you legal coverage, access to contracts, documents, whatever. And the monthly fee, you will spend that on dinner for one night.
Right, exactly. Oh, it's definitely worth it. And the crazy part is that first month, I was like, I'm gonna test these people because I had like 3 or 4 agreements that I needed looked at. They ain't shake a beat, no extra upcharge. They looked at each one, and in fact, they were waiting on me to respond to call. They were calling me back, and I'm looking at like, what is this 800 number? I ain't about to answer this call. And it was my attorney telling me, hey man, we looked at your contracts. You know, we need to get on a call. Let's walk through the information. So thank you so much for introducing me to that. It has definitely helped me in my business. And, you know, and that's the thing. You've said it already on here. You know, we've got to step out of being a side hustle. You know, that's a cool name for it. But when you get for real, you need to be running a business.
Yes.
And when you treat it like a business, it will treat you back like a business. It will pay you, you know, adequately. It'll make you feel better. It makes people in your community feel good about what you're presenting out there. And it's not just something you're doing in the back alley, you know, of your office or in your house. So really treat your business right. Get legal representation. This is something that I would have never thought I could have would have had enough sales coming in to pay for an attorney to constantly be looking at my agreements. But now I can. So thank you for introducing that to me.
And it gives you leverage, right? How many of us as a business owner, a small business owner, can say, let me run this past my attorney?
Yep.
How many of us can even say that?
That's power. That's power.
That's power. Because the moment you drop that attorney, people, it's like, it's a game changer, right?
Yeah.
It's a game changer. And Go Small Biz does provide that.
Yeah. Excellent. Good
I
stuff.
need to bring you on as a testimonial because that was powerful.
I'm ready. Bring me on. You already know I love talking. So I'll definitely tell people about anything that's helped me in my business because I done made all the mistakes. So if I can get through it, then somebody else out there is probably either facing it or already then got through it themselves.
Yeah. So those that are wanting to connect with Darlisa on Facebook, if you look in our comment section, I have posted a link to her Facebook page for her business as well. Again, please check the comment sections for the survey we talked about at the top of the broadcast. And if you're in that Dallas-Fort Worth area, please take the time to fill out that survey. It would be greatly appreciated. And we're also dropping in the comment section her email address as well. If you want to shoot her an email, please feel free to shoot her an email in the comment section. So we do have her Facebook group. We have her email address. We also have a link to a survey that we would love for you guys to, she would love for you guys to fill out. And we do have one other thing in the comment section for you as well. The
website.
The website. So website, email, Facebook group, survey. Don't hesitate to reach out to her. She is a wealth of knowledge, and you can only benefit for tapping into Mr. Alicia because she is a wealth of knowledge and an amazing resource. Vic, I have to tell you, I think that Mr. Alicia is one of our guests this year that has brought some of the most amazing value to our viewers.
Yeah.
We look for different things. Like we talk a lot about having a power team and having the right members on your power team. And some people will be like, you know, just what you said. I don't have money for an attorney. I don't have money for human resources. I don't have money for this. I don't have money for that. Well, and then they're talking about they don't have money. They haven't even sat with a person like yourself to explore when they need to add these people in their business. I mean, it's in a beautiful, great world. You have everybody you need in the beginning, but that's not the world we all live in. So sitting down with you, you could definitely help them map that out and see how, instead of saying what I can't do, show them how I can.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I would go a step further. If you're in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, do yourself a favor, reach out to Darlisa because she's in the rooms with the people that are approving these grants for small businesses. She's in the economic development meetings where they're deciding where they should allocate portions of their state issued dollars for certain businesses. And these are the types of conversations that we don't often get to hear. And you have somebody in your corner who's heard it, who's telling you exactly what you need to put your package together, like so that you could get the funding that you need. I mean, you just do yourself a favor, reach out to her, especially again if you're in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. But now, again, you're online, so people can reach out to you. I'm sure if you haven't been in that city's economic development center, you probably a phone call away from somebody that you could tap into in that area that could help somebody else out. So again, I just want to thank you so much for joining us, Darlisa. Any last comments? Anything last you want to say?
I just want to thank you guys for having me on today. I know, we were going to do it with Marlon with the real estate. Still looking forward to doing that. But thank you guys for just having me on. I appreciate it. Thank you for sharing my information, and thank you for what you're doing. I have seen the show a couple different times, and I love it. Thank you guys for being authentically you.
Thank you so much. We appreciate that very much.
Thank you.
We'll keep doing it then since she said it.
Yeah, right. Absolutely. That's the goal. Both of us.
Get all these clowns out of our inbox, though.
I know, right? We got our control. Like, we've been doing this for over a year, and today we have 2 trolls. So I can't even be mad about it. Maybe later I might be mad about it, but right now it's like, okay, if my content is great, then that's why you're here, because you don't troll on things that's not great. So, hi trolls, thank you for gracing us with your presence today.
I hope y'all get that COVID straightened out, man.
Too many people have too much time on their hands, right?
That's me. All right. Anyway, we appreciate you again, Darlisa. I can't wait to talk to you about the center. Yeah. Got to get offline and talk to you about that. But thank you again, folks. Please like, share, comment, spread this information out. There's somebody in your circle, if not yourself, that could use this information. And we just thank you again for being here today.
Thank you, guys. And you guys have a blessed rest of your week.
You as well. Take care, everybody. Until next week.